It's 26 minutes to 1900 GMT. This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sanda Amado. And as earlier advertised, my guest tonight used to sit on the chair I'm sitting on. He is the host of Good Evening Ghana on Metro TV. He believes in opinion journalism and is always sharing his opinions. Even in his show, he does editorial. So editorial journalism, not in a newspaper, but on a television program. What kind of style is that? Is he an agenda man, Paul Adumotri? Paul, welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you very much.
Do you miss Eyewitness News?
Oh, I listen all the time. Yeah.
I mean,
I like the concept.
Do you miss sitting here and...
well, not really, but I enjoy it.
Oh, why don't you miss the show that you crafted? Nice.
You can't do the same thing forever.
But you're happy.
Yeah.
You've been monitoring it from afar.
Yeah, I listen.
How is it looking like?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's still leading, isn't it?
It is. It's actually how always leading. How is Good Evening Ghana?
Oh, well, we're on it. We're trying to make it work and make it better.
When you talk on Good Evening Ghana, you use we, W-E, in reference to you. Explain to us why you say we when you are the one who is running the commentary.
Because it's a team effort. I mean, we do. I mean, if you watch, and that's why we started filming the behind the scenes, and we'll continue to film for people to see. If you watch the kind of arguments that we have before we decide on what you can say and what you cannot say, you will understand why I say we. And sometimes, and I bounce it off a lot of young people. And even when they are not available, we call them and put them on speaker and said, I want to make this point. And they'll say, no, you can't make that point. Somebody will say this, somebody will say that. So by the time we come together, either we have a consensus or we have a majority opinion.
So it's not a poll agenda that you execute on Good Evening Ghana?
Oh, I initiate because I lead and chair those meetings. So
you're
I
producer
initiate.
And presenter, or you're presenter alone? Which one are you?
There's no single producer. There are quite a few people, some of whom are not even regular. So depending on the topic, we'll call Bright Simmons and say that we want to say this. Is it? Can we say that? Is that the situation? That we do a lot of that. So there's a production team.
Okay, so you call people who help you production who are not necessarily coming to the show.
There are those who are regular assistants to the production situation. But I'm saying that when we have a matter that I can remember somebody who has either written something about it or has developed some expertise about it, we would usually call and reach that person and say, we want to discuss this, and this is the point we want to make.
Okay, you get personal sometimes. Why do you do so? Is that journalism?
I don't get personal. I don't know what you mean by it. I mean, I don't understand what personal is. If I'm referring to something Martin Amidu has said, I don't think that is personal. I'm just referring to something he has said, and I'm disagreeing with him based on some research or based on some facts or based on some historical analysis. And news, if that is so, then news is personal, because fundamentally news is about events, people, and places. That's what news is about. Every news, current affairs item is about events, people, and places. So when it's about people and we think it's personal, then I'm not sure. It's personal when you are addressing somebody not based on something he has said, not based on an opinion he holds, but based on something that is personal. His head is short, this is that, he's this, or you talk about a woman's body and that kind of thing. But if you are addressing something somebody has expressed as his opinion and you are disagreeing with it, however vehemently you do, I'm not sure that's personal. That's what news is about. It's about events, people, and places.
But when you take Manasseh Azuri Awuni, Ghana Journalists Association called him Journalist of the Year a number of times, more than once, I believe it was. And you take his opinions and take his work and put him on your show and shred him into pieces. That is personal.
That's still analyzing somebody's work. That's
attacking someone's integrity and attacking someone's personality because they are doing a job.
Well, I don't agree with you. Attacking someone's personality is attacking what it says personality. It's not attacking his opinion. Attacking his opinion is different from attacking his personality or attacking his output, his outcomes after some work. Is different from attacking his personality. So you realize that when we talk about that, and we have to make reference to the person. I say my friend, I said my colleague. But then when I'm dealing with what he has put out, which I think is reckless or is not journalism, that's not personal. And I think we have to draw a distinction between attacking his personality, which would mean you're attacking his person, That's what it means. What constitutes a human being's person? What constitutes his personality? If you like, his disposition. That to say that he's arrogant, that to say that he's too humble, that to say that he's a talkative. Those are the adjectives that go to describe somebody who is personal or who is running a personal commentary upon another. If I'm saying that what he said is unconstitutional, that cannot be personal.
But you see, your viewers don't agree with this thing you're saying to me. Lots of your viewers, actually, when we advertised that you're coming on Good Evening, on Point Blank, said, please ask Paul, is he and Azuri chasing the same girl? That sounds very personal. That's how people say it. It's almost like you put him on the table every
I take
evening.
that to be...
And there are times when people see your poster and you have his photo that they're like, oh, tonight is going to be an Azuri show.
Yeah, yes, but I take that to be a joke. As we say, to whom much is given, much is expected. And you know that Edmund Burke had talked about the fourth estate of the realm, the media. The responsibility on media people is higher in terms of what you put out. Because what you put out is most likely to be believed. These days, when a story pops up online, and I call you and I say that the story has come up and they said X, Y, Z, you're probably going to ask me which website. If I mention some websites, you just laugh it off. If I mention it's on City Online, you take it more seriously. So journalists in mainstream media have a higher standard in terms of the thing that they put out, because people are most likely to believe it. What we call in journalism the believability quotient is very broad with journalists, practicing journalists in mainstream media. And therefore, journalists have to be more careful if they have to put out something, whether it's opinion, whether it's information, whether it's a news report. And that is why the cost of libel is higher on the publisher than even the person who said it, the one who publishes, because the one who publishes operates a platform that owns a believability quotient. That's the point. So if a journalist says something, which is, so there's a Jura situation, all of us are concerned and worried about it. And then people are writing anything they know about Ejura or anything they can hear. So if I go on Facebook, if Kofi Mensah goes on Facebook and says, my brother called me and he lives in Ejura, and he said that it was a mob that attacked Kaka, well, that's okay. The punishment for that person is less than a regular journalist who publishes that a mob attacked Kaka, because he has a believability quotient and he has a responsibility to use that believability quotient in a more, in a better way than just being reckless. So when we set out to attack opinion, it cannot be personal. Personal is attacking the person's personality.
You have mentioned Edmund Burke and the Fourth Estate. We are journalists. Azuri believes that we should act as a pack of dogs against the officialdom to protect the pairs and to fight for the voiceless. You have chosen instead to attack one of the dogs in the pack. Why would you do that?
I have not chosen that. The journalism field is quite broad. And so you would have different aspects of journalism reporting. You have sports reporting, you have business reporting, you have political reporting, which I do. You have investigative reporting, which others do. So people can decide, and media houses elsewhere in places where journalism is very well established, media houses set out an agenda against political parties. So they established the media house that we belong to this. Even civil society groups like Brookings is democratic in America. The Republicans also have their civil society organization. So it's okay for a journalist to say that, as far as I'm concerned as a journalist, my philosophy is that I will keep a watchdog on the government. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But if you're keeping a watchdog on the government, you have to do it credibly. If you don't do it credibly, the courts are there to put a check on us. And because we have such a nascent democracy, we don't want the courts coming in as brutally as they would like to. We don't want to give the courts those opportunities. So yes, you can set out that, as far as I'm concerned, my philosophy is that I am going to look at the government with eagle eye. Any government with eagle eye, or every government with eagle eye. That's okay. That's good. That is acceptable. That is necessary for the growth of democracy. There's no problem with that. I can be a journalist and I decide that I know Umaru Sanda. I have observed Umaru Sanda from Parliament. I think Umaru Sanda should...
Legislature or the executive, you're going to be promoting the executive. Are you not defying the principle of...
I've not decided that I'm promoting
No, I'm
the
just
executive.
talking about in this particular context where you choose that this guy, I have to push him till he becomes MP or becomes minister. That is supporting someone.
That's what the New York Times does. Would you say the New York Times is wrong? It's a 200-year-old newspaper. That's what they do for the Democratic Party. They did that for Bill Clinton. They did that for John Kennedy. Would you say the New York Times is a bad newspaper?
Is that what you do?
No, I'm asking you.
Is that what you do?
No, I'm asking you. You are talking about denigrating a situation where an established media platform decides to promote something. I'm saying to you that the New York Times does that. The Concord in Nigeria was doing that for Moshood Abiola. It's a 50-year-old newspaper.
Is that what Good Evening Ghana at 20 years is doing?
But you should answer that question. You've seen Good Evening Ghana for 20 years. Is that what we do?
I haven't seen it for 20 years. I wasn't 20 years
well,
ago.
So
watching,
you should answer that question. It's a question for you to answer. I'm the producer of Good Evening Ghana. You are the viewer. You should make that determination.
There are viewers who, when they see you advertise anybody, any personality, especially under fire politicians, they say, oh, Paul has gone to set an agenda, or Paul is going to set an agenda. Are you an agenda journalist?
I don't understand what you mean by under fire politicians.
So if there's a politician who is in trouble, maybe there's a public backlash over somebody.
Yes.
That person appears on Paul's show, or there's a poster that said he'll be on Paul's show, Good Evening Ghana tonight. People take to social media and say, oh, Paul is an agenda journalist. He's going to help clean this person's mess for him. Is that what you do? Are you a cleaner?
But if you are cleaning people's mess and you, quote and unquote, if you are doing that, you will not be successful. You won't.
Why?
Because if you're cleaning people's mess and it's not cleanable, you will not be successful. There's something in politics and journalism called the tyranny of the majority. There's the tyranny of the majority. So if I see that Peter, I was going to say Mark Menu, Kweku Agyeman Menu is under fire, and I look at the situation and I have a different opinion, and it's a minority opinion, I will still push it intellectually, hoping that those who are willing to look at it objectively will understand me. And a few times we have succeeded in doing that, because the tyranny of the majority can run amok like an unruly horse in a situation like Ghana, in a nascent democracy, where people believe that they are the owners of the process, where some civil society media believe that they are the owners of the process. They orchestrate a tyranny of the majority. I would look at that situation and be sure that what we are doing, the way that we are all running, the Bible says that the broad way may be the wrong way, the narrow way may be the correct one. So I always endeavor to look at whether this situation is not representing the tyranny of the majority. If I find out that it is, I will do my research, and if there's another opinion that people have either overlooked because of enjoying the mob action of the tyranny of the majority, I'll bring out that point. That's what we have been doing, and we've been doing it ferociously.
This tyranny of majority thing that you try to do, is it not equal to
I don't do it. I observe it and try and raise an opinion opposite it.
Yeah, I mean, so you're counter to the tyranny of majority thing. Do you not think that most of the times majority is right, even though majority is not always right?
But the Bible have said that majority, the broad way is the wrong way. Haven't you heard that? I don't know whether most of the time majority is right or majority is wrong. That's not my concern for this analysis. What I'm saying is that,
facts. So for instance,
what I'm saying is that the tyranny, before I come out to make a determination that something is a tyranny of the majority, I will research it and see the facts. And often, many times, we have observed cogent facts that people have overlooked. And what is the tools of our analysis? The 1992 Constitution, the Acts of Parliament, the Acts of Procedure, historical analysis. These are the tools of our analysis. And when we apply these tools and we find that, look, this is wrong, they have overlooked that. They have overlooked the Constitution and they are perpetrating the tyranny of the majority. Our responsibility is to come out and point that out.
You hosted the former PPA boss, the man who was fired by the president clearly because of the work that was done against him. Did you believe that his story was not... Did you believe the majority was being tyrannical against him, for which reason you gave him the platform to do what he did?
No, I didn't give him a platform. I wanted to interrogate him so that my viewers will understand the whole story. That's what we do. We didn't give him platform. We invited him so that we will ventilate the facts. And if you look at the interview, look at the questions that we put to him, you will see that we went out to ventilate the facts so that viewers can now have an opportunity, because often the news is broad. There's so many news items. People hear it in snipers. They hear headlines and all of that. The other responsibility we have on Good Evening Ghana is that all the things that you have heard in snipers, we will bring you the full story so you can make your decision. Okay. So that's what we do. That's what we did with this one. We didn't bring him to we are not defense lawyers.
But if you thought that the person was not being treated fairly and you have a platform, when you bring them, why do you interrogate them? Why don't you lead the person in evidence? Because people think that's what you do.
We are not defense lawyers. We are not doing examination in chief. Neither are we doing cross-examination. We are ventilating the matter.
Do you lead your interviewees?
But that's
on?
what I'm saying, that we are not doing examination in chief. I'm answering your question. If we lead them on, we'll be doing examination in chief like they do in the trial.
There are views on your Facebook live feed that suggest that what you're doing is just edge a guy on to say ABC. What do you say to that?
They would have to. I mean, the opinions, as they say, everyone has opinion. But people who express that opinion will have to justify it. What we do is neither cross-examination nor examination in chief. It is to bring the person so that we can have the issue told in the full story. So there's no critical question that we don't ask when people like that come on board. And I have to let you know, and viewers also know, that when we are interviewing people, more often than not, we tell them the questions that we're going to ask them.
No, we give them synopsis. We don't tell them the questions.
You can't tell them the question because it's a live program, but I can tell them questions I'm going to ask them.
You give them synopsis.
No, I tell them questions I'm going to ask them.
What I was taught at the Ghana Institute of Journalism is to share the synopsis, not the questions. Because if you give the person a question, that becomes a commercial paid for interview, which we do on the City Breakfast Show, where MTN would come with 10 questions, pay for them, and you ask those questions.
You have expressed a very limited opinion on the matter.
Okay.
If you don't give the person the questions, some documents that are relevant will not come to the studio, because at the end of the day, you want your viewers to understand. You have to tell the person, I am going to ask you.
You give questions or areas?
Everything, synopsis, questions, and areas. There are some that you have to give a specific question. I'm going to ask you that the board meeting that was held on 6 so and so, did the minutes say this? You have to bring the minutes to the studio. If you don't tell him that, he may not bring the minutes.
Why don't you say to the person that will discuss issues around the board meeting or the minutes that you had around this?
Because I want him to be fully prepared for the answer that I want.
You are preparing the person to come and give testimony before you. And
have you read Larry King's book?
I haven't.
Okay, you should read Larry King's book. If you believe Larry King was a good interviewer, you should read Larry King's book.
I have read other people. I have.
Well, but I don't find anything wrong with giving an interviewer a question. It doesn't mean you're giving him 10 questions, because I don't prepare with questions for the interview. Those who have worked with me here will tell you, I don't walk into the studio with prepared questions. I just start the interview. And on television, I don't have prepared questions. I start the interview and it flows. But when I'm preparing, I said, look, this guy, we have to ask him this. Tell him. We'll be asking him this question. Okay. He has to prepare for it.
When we go for
we don't come on interview to ambush people and surround them and surprise them. Even in court, you are not allowed to surprise. So we don't bring people on the program so that we will surprise them.
But questions can surprise. Questions in court can surprise people.
If it's surprise, the court will underrule it. You don't spring surprises.
Not if you
check the civil procedure rules. You can't spring surprises.
I'm not a lawyer, but if
you have lawyers here, ask them. Civil procedure rules, you cannot spring surprises in court.
No, I'm talking about a question, not a document that you are introducing last minute without the judge or the court knowing. Are you saying that
but if
when you're cross-examining someone...
A question will lead to the person being prepared for it, and you don't tell him, and you just spring it on him, and he says, I don't have the documents here. For instance, I interviewed E.T. Mensah recently on the Saglame issue.
Yes.
The interview took another direction because it is a live interview. And then he said to me that I didn't bring it. So I asked him that, can you come on Thursday, so that, because this question has to be answered.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I had known, I thought about it and had told him that I'll ask you this question, he would have brought the documents to the studio. Because we didn't know, the documents didn't come, viewers lost the opportunity to clearly understand what it is. Those viewers who couldn't follow us 2 days later on Thursday, either they traveled or they were busy doing something else, have completely lost the opportunity.
Okay.
That's the reason why you have to sometimes, not all the time, sometimes, tell them some specific questions that you'll be asking them.
The way journalists go to meet the president to ask questions, do you think and believe, based on this analysis you've done, that the journalist should send questions ahead of time to the president so he prepares before he answers?
I don't understand your question.
If journalists go to meet the president like we do, where the director of communication or information minister will call us one by one to ask questions, do you think and believe same that journalists should send their questions aforehand before appearing to ask those questions? Because that would sound like what happens in parliament.
Well, it's a matter of choice for people. But if I were a communications person, I would think that yes, for a president who is dealing with the gamut of issues, if he calls a press conference, yes, people must tell him what they're going to ask him. So he's ready for it.
Before.
Yes, but what do you gain by not telling him? Tell me, what do you gain?
You want to test whether he is on the ground.
What does that mean?
It means that you want to be sure whether the president is aware.
So you're going to ask the president that how many district hospitals have you constructed? You don't tell him. You show up and ask him. That is why the president at the one of his press conference, they asked him something about football, and he said, "Oh, he has not prepared for it."
No.
So you think that it's better for you not to ask him tell him. So he doesn't have the document with him. And then that way you are testing whether he's on the ground.
I would keep my questions if I believe they are question of a national character the president should be in the know of. I would keep that question and ask him.
But the ones that the president should be in the know of is obvious. It's fundamental. It's not something that people would dispute about.
So if
you want to get a critical press conference out for people to see real issues, the president must have the documents. Is he going to lie about documents?
No, but if the president has promised that I'll build 88 hospitals, let's say next year there's a press briefing like that, before the president shows up before journalists, he should know that unless these journalists are sleeping, they would ask a question about that. He should be prepared. He shouldn't say...
Yes, but he can't prepare. He's going to meet 17, 20, 30 journalists. He can't prepare for all. You see, I don't believe in that. I believe in journalism that is intellectual. I don't believe in journalism that is ambushing. If the documents don't lie... So we used to sit in this city newsroom. We don't talk to anybody. We take the budget of 2003, take the budget of 2004, and run analysis on it.
Okay.
It's information. You can ask the president that, Mr. President, I'll be asking you that in the 2004 sessional address, you said this. It is in your paragraph 34. Look at it. I'll be asking you that paragraph 34 of your 2011 sessional address actually contradicts your paragraph 30 of 2012. You have told him.
Okay.
So why don't you want to tell him that? Why do you want to ambush him?
You are a journalist, correct? Of course, you are a journalist.
People to make that determination, I don't know.
Okay, I'm asking this question for two reasons. One, you were serving on the National Communications Authority Board. Are you still serving?
Well, all boards have been terminated in January, according to a letter
written by the Chief of Staff. So you served for the last...
Yes.
Oh, good. For
Absolutely.
4 years. You were you were working there under a board that has a minister in charge.
Somebody sends me a text to tell you that CNN set out to push Trump away. Fox set out the same for the Republican. No. Sending questions of a briefing is actually the standard in America. A journalist says, I should tell you, Sander.
No
it says sending questions ahead of the briefing is the standard in America.
Which journalist is this, please?
I can show you his name. Maybe he doesn't want his name mentioned.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. But that is it. So this kind of ambush journalism, I've been against it for a very long time.
If you serve on a board,
NCA, yeah.
If you serve on a board, are you serving in the government?
Well, to some extent, you see, the definition of the government, it's interesting in the 1992 Constitution. And there again, if you're a journalist and you want to understand the definition of the government, you go to the 1992 Constitution. You don't guess it. So if you look at the 1992 Constitution, if you look, for instance, at Article 88, it says that the Attorney General shall be the principal legal advisor to the government. You see, there is a difference between the state and the government, but it's kind of blurry. So the state of Ghana is the constant in the equation. The government of Ghana is the variable. But when the government is in place, it occupies the state. So if you ask this question, I'm not sure different political scientists and lawyers will answer it differently. You can also say that the NCA, the National Communication Authority, is a state institution. And therefore, if you serve with the NCA, you are serving with the state as opposed to the political government.
Okay. But you are appointed by a political government.
But that's the point I'm making, that the government occupies the state in the equation.
Good.
The state is the constant, the government is the variable. The government occupies the state in the equation. So the Ghana Armed Forces is the state, but its actors are appointed by the president.
Politicians.
The judicial service is the state, but its actors are appointed by the government. So when Article 88 says that the Attorney General shall be the principal legal advisor to the government, does it mean the government, the political government elected by the people, or does it mean the constant state in the equation? So it's an argument.
So the reason I brought the NCA thing is,
yeah,
how do you truly hold the government in check when you are in the government?
Yeah, but we are dealing with whether or not being the NCA is part of the political government or is part of the state. Have you answered that question?
Yours was a political government.
How is it a political government? The National Communication Authority.
Who put you there?
But that's, so the Chief Justice is a political government.
Let's deal with you. Who put you there?
It's the same thing. You can't say deal with me. It's the same thing, Umaru.
No,
let's deal with the law.
No, the Chief Justice is not a journalist.
The Chief Justice is appointed.
I know.
The Chief Justice position ought to be more neutral than any journalist. That's the point I'm making.
I know.
So if you are saying that a person appointed on the board of the National Communication Authority, which is the board of directors of the National Communication Authority, not the full-time management, the board of directors, if you are making suggestions and allusions that that person once appointed into the National Communication Authority by the government, by the president, the elected president, then becomes a member of the government, then I'm suggesting to you that by the same token, the learned Chief Justice appointed by the political authority, the army commander, the IGP, appointed by the political authority to occupy a state position becomes a part of the government. That's a fallacy.
So look at it this way. You host a TV show. NCA.
Are you satisfied that an appointment by the president to a state institution does not make it political? Are you satisfied with that?
Let's leave my listeners to tell us whether they're satisfied or not.
Okay.
You are a host of a show. NCA is in trouble. The board chairman appears before you. You are a member of his board. How can you really, truly ask him questions, the hard questions?
Say that again. You are a state what?
You are a journalist. You're hosting a show. NCA board chair appears. You are under his board, or you are on his board.
He appears on my show.
Yeah, because there's an issue with NCA.
Yeah, but if I'm serving on the NCA board or the National Communication Authority as a state appointee, I cannot discuss NCA matters on my platform.
So it means viewers of Metro TV or viewers of Good Evening Ghana would lose anything that has to do with NCA.
But that's why we have a plural media. Do you understand what a plural media means?
You can go elsewhere and talk, but not on Good Evening Ghana.
But that should be very obvious to you.
Finally, opinion journalism, the editorials you do.
In the face of the allegations of extortion leveled against me, I have chosen to take high moral ground by submitting myself to the processes of the law. I have accordingly caused writs to be filed in suit number GT 1029/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Samuel Edujem Fi and Multimedia Group Limited at the Accra High Court, and suit number GR/AC/CC/C5/02/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Eric Ejay and Peace FM at the Achimota Circuit Court. I have every confidence that in the fullness of time, the court will make the appropriate determination on these matters. Mr. Speaker, I also await with bated breath that the man or the men who made the allegation will have the courage to report the matter to the police or the OSP or any investigating agency in this country. And I expect that if they muster the courage to report that I have extorted from them and I am invited, I shall submit myself to every investigation so that eventually my name is cleared. Mr. Speaker, there is a limit to political discourse. There are lines that must not be crossed, and these red lines, once crossed, they must be dealt with. Mr. Speaker, I can modestly and humbly say that I have served in this position with integrity. I came into this office a man of hard work with determination, and I have achieved for myself what I have to do for myself, my family, and my constituents. Mr. Speaker, I work with clear conscience and with fidelity to the responsibilities entrusted to me. I say so without more. In the face of the allegations of extortion leveled against me, I have chosen to take high moral ground by submitting myself to the processes of the law. I have accordingly caused writs to be filed in suit number GT 1029/2026.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
So, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery,
Hey.
which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register, list, rent, buy or sell, and connect with correct agents. With our AI-powered smart search, personalized dashboards, verified agent connection, and interactive property maps, all your property needs have been made easier. Check us out on 7terragh.com or contact us on 0302-998-246 or 0561 032 252. 7terragh.com, powered by MNC Properties.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is seho buying, a man is swing, Nesansu Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Abinabiwa say what dia wo babeje wo makacho safa wo pome sabe empanyi say abone pakokwaye no e no de ne ho twetwisie UVA Motors wadawro ma ene se me bia Benz musa na o chale age Benz nigga eh kasatinti wo wi entop onko betra se me onko bla 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 betra se
EVA Motors specializes in the sale of quality foreign imported vehicles, all backed by genuine and authentic documentation. Visit us at Dansoman Runabout, behind the Guelph filling station, for trusted vehicle deals and excellent customer service.
Charlie, how do you see the car?
Can you solid? Can you beautiful?
Yeah, man, I'm Dubai. Yeah.
EVA Motors.
Get your best deals and say crack it. Crack, crack.
This is the old way. Let me show you a new and a better way. EduPack.
EduPack?
Yes, EduPack. A GS approved and supported initiative for all first year students going to SHS by Prospectus Ghana Limited. Now you don't need to go to the market. All your trunks, mattresses, pillows, including plastic chopboards, are all waiting for your child at the school. Note, All our wooden chalk boxes are being changed to plastic ones to avoid bedbugs.
You can also register by dialing *713*821# following the prompts, or you can visit www.eduparkgh.com and tap register. You can also register at any ADB branch near you at a very affordable price. EduPark, approved and supported by GES.
Welcome to the Pan-African Sustainability Conference 2026, where Africa's brightest minds come together to inspire change. For 3 impactful days, you'll engage in thought-provoking discussions, discover breakthrough innovations, build strategic partnerships, and explore practical solutions advancing the circular economy and sustainable development across Africa. Whether you're a student, researcher, investor, innovator, or a leader creating solutions for tomorrow, PASC 2026 is where your journey connects with Africa's future. Organizations and institutions are also invited to partner with or sponsor PASC 2026, showcasing their commitment to sustainability while connecting with influential leaders and decision makers. Don't just witness the future, help create it. Join us from 8th to 10th September 2026 at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra, Ghana. Register, partner, or become a sponsor today at www.pascafrica.org. This conference is brought to you by PASC Africa 2026, advancing sustainability and circular economy solutions for Africa's future.
Can he tee up someone in red?
That's who goes for. I be the real goat, Chairman. What's the real goat?
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
We are talking about BET. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, him be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Proudly produced by Casa Preco PLC. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 years. Not recommended for pregnant women and lactating mothers. Don't drink and drive. This advert is FDA approved.
In the face of the allegations of extortion leveled against me, I have chosen to take high moral ground by submitting myself to the processes of the law. I have accordingly caused writs to be filed in suit number GT 1029/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Samuel Edujem Fi and Multimedia Group Limited at the Accra High Court, and suit number GR/ACH/CC/C5/02/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Eric Ejay and Peace FM at the Chimota Circuit Court. I have every confidence that in the fullness of time, the court will make the appropriate determination on these matters. Mr. Speaker, I also await with bated breath that the man or the men who made the allegation will have the courage to report the matter to the police or the OSP or any investigating agency in this country. And I expect that if they muster the courage to report that I have extorted from them and I am invited, I shall submit myself to every investigation so that eventually my name is cleared. Mr. Speaker, there is a limit to political discourse. There are lines that must not be crossed, and these red lines, once crossed, they must be dealt with. Mr. Speaker, I can modestly and humbly say that I have served in this position with integrity. I came into this office a man of hard work with determination And I have achieved for myself what I have to do for myself, my family, and my constituents. Mr. Speaker, I work with clear conscience and with fidelity to the responsibilities entrusted to me. I say so without more.
Ma omenyi musemye we yase na drinwa nopa eviana brenyina sewuri bompa ya kaigana sufre unyankupon fatana shenisa enuna uyo mambapa enuna odo mauma Odo woman and one day Odo woman and no arana yerishe Odo woman and one day Omenyi musemye we yase na drinwa nopa eviana brenyina sewuri bompa ya kaigana sufre unyankupon fagana shenisa enona uyo mambapa enona odo mauma eno arana yerishe odo woman and one odo woman eno arana yerishe odo woman
mine dey kan Martinamidu say what assess na he's an indisciplined person potoka Zana Meka oyobia onfani di man in pay for oyobia onimra so nikita an apology letter wa ha emra ne boss former president John Evans Atamos power na oba abonten ekoka asem to the colleague ministers who are a friend of Mampenye so me one Martinamidu is on record to have attempted to physically assault a certain president. Apology letter. On one case, a patch say, meeting no buy na obe boo Mampenye Nitiano. When Timian control the temper, when Timian control the emotions. A very erratic person.
My husband is an economic waste kid. And also the convoy. You were brand new Land Cruiser Dimua and also so Sonya Mani Yemerson. A Sonyema, Yemerson. Makeup. Or one full Land Cruiser for makeup artist. Oh, Mr. Check. Oh, check. Me check. One full Land Cruiser makeup artist in team. Ena in Kenya na yeso to omosono ehim ahwehwe ode hwe nanim ehim o Mampenye Kufuado abusanfo waje bribe $40,000 to keep an NDC Mahama appointee in office. That is it. And like Honorable Fifi Kwete said, so Mampenye Kufuado say anya no kra o ma yenko no boko na onkonko deny waje bribe dia ne yeketa to wo guga na nimu ase. A complete scammer, no integrity, no credibility. He has no basis. A trickster, if you don't like the word scammer, a liar. Let me use the word liar. Liar. He is a pathological liar. Bereft of ideas, bereft of credibility, bereft of integrity. He has no basis whatsoever to question John Mahama's capacity.
Sammy Dollar, Sammy Miami, Sammy with the sharp teeth, Pepper Mouse, Sammy Jamfi. snowflake, you can dish it out. But can you take your own medicine? Hey, Sammy, Ghanaians, they ask, oh, $1.7 billion. Sammy atongoda boka. Sammy atongoda boka. Yerebisa osikano wahen. $1.7 billion. Wahen. Sammy sikano wahen. $1.7 billion. Wahen. Ghanaians are asking again. Sammy atongoda boka. Gold bar. Explain it to Ghana. $1.7 billion. Yerebisa sikano wahen. Sammy Miami, pepper mouth, you talk plenty. Sammy with the sharp teeth. Today the people want receipts. Sammy are on in mathematics. Chen IMF, come and calculate for Ghana. Make the figures make sense. You talk the talk, now answer the call. If the numbers don't add up, explain it to us all. 1.7 billion. 1.7 billion. Dollar no ya baby, oh, Ghana for a visa, oh, Sammy. Ghanaians are asking for answers on the $1.7 billion. Money for the nurses, money for the teachers, money for our roads, money for the people. Accra to Kumasi Highway, money could help finish the way. Mahamas Azar 24-hour economy, money could support the economy. So Sammy, answer the question. $1.7 billion. Wahem. $1.7 billion. Wahem. $1.7 billion. Wahem.
Mine the kind. Matinamidu, so what says he's an indisciplined person. Protocol of America. Or you'll be a unfriendly human in paying for. Or you'll be a only raso. Nikita an apology letter. Emra, the boss, former President John Evans Atamel's power. Now, Oba Bontin, Echo Council to the colleague ministers who are a friend of Mampinian to be in one. Matinamidu is on record to have attempted to physically assault a certain president. Apology letter. On one case, a patch say, meeting not by an act. Obe boo Mampinian Tiano. When Timian control the temper, when Timian control the emotions. A very erratic person.
My husband is an economic waste kid. And also the convoy. You were brand new Land Cruiser Dimua and also so Sonya in Yemerson. A Sonyema, Yemerson. Makeup. Or one full Land Cruiser for makeup artist. Oh, Mr. Check. Oh, check. I mean, check. One full Land Cruiser makeup artist in the team. In Kenya na yeso to omosono ehim ahwehwe audition nanim ehim o mampenya kufuado abusanfo waje bribe $40,000 to keep an NDC Mahama appointee in office. That is it. And like Honorable Fifi Kwete said, so mampenya kufuado say anya no kura o mayenko no gogo na onkonko deny waje bribe dia ne yeketa to wo buga na nimu ase. A complete scammer, no integrity, no credibility. He has no basis. A trickster, if you don't like the word scammer, a liar. Let me use the word liar. Liar. He is a pathological liar. Bereft of ideas, bereft of credibility, bereft of integrity. He has no basis whatsoever to question John Mahama's capacity.
Welcome to the show. Good evening, and it's always a pleasure to have you here with us. Tonight, everything is going to come down. So what's in our lineup today? We have a very special editorial. For those of you who have seen our social media page, we are going to discuss the Van P, Niel-Ante van der Poel's fallout with NDC supporters who have pummeled him into an apology.
I don't understand.
Oh, sorry. AI can expose us. I was just doing some research and I had to cut to come to the studio. AI says, sorry, I don't understand. What don't you understand? Just keep quiet. Sorry, viewers. Let's get on with it. So, what was I saying? I'll give you the lineup, isn't it? Okay, so they've reminded me in the studio. This I was talking about the lineup. So, the Van P story, Niel-Ante van der Poel, a man that we greatly respect for his principles and his politics, he has been pummeled into an apology by the NDC faithfuls. And we're going to analyze that to you. What we are going to tell you tonight is that this one, the Niel-Ante van der Poel episode, is the first proxy battle that is being waged towards 2028 between, guess who? John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency the President, and Johnson Asedo Nkatia, the party chairman. We'll tell you about that. We'll begin, though, with Afenyo Markin's writ that he says is filed against the extortion matter. And then we also have tonight something on the 24-hour economy and the 24-hour markets. We granted an interview the other day where we talked about the fact that the 24-hour market was not named in the NDC's manifesto. Tonight, that's our starting point. We'll begin with the NDC manifesto of 2024. We'll go to what 24-hour economy said. We will read out to you what 24-hour economy said, and then you can make your own judgment out of it. Then we are dealing with 24-hour markets tonight. In the studio is Adenta Kumi, who is here after filing. He's had a very long day. The young man has filed his papers at the MPP head office to contest for the position of the National Youth Organizer. The event is on October the 3rd, and that's when they are electing the MPP national officers. Tonight, we'll do some work on that as well and show you who is winning the chairmanship. It's now looking like a triangle of a namesake Paul Afoko, former chairman, Boakye Jakun, the formidable Boakye Jakun, and the one that Musa Dankwa says is in the lead, John Boadu, the former indefatigable general secretary of the party. Musa Dankwa says John Boadu is in the lead on the pattern. Boakye Jakun supporters believe that Boakye will win. Prophet Walase, do you remember him? Prophet Walase has prophesied that Boakye will carry the day. But the polls for Musa Dankwa indicate that John Boadu is in the lead. We're going to be analyzing all that so you can sit back and enjoy it. Talk about polls. The African Policy Lens has also come out with a poll saying that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is ahead of any of the potential NDC presidential candidates. Tonight, when we do the Niel-Ante van der Poel story, we will show you what is the first choice for John Mahama's supporters in terms of the ballot paper in 2028. We'll show you what is the second choice of John Mahama supporters, the third choice of John Mahama supporters. And as we were putting the research together, we actually found a fourth choice that we'll be sharing with you. So good evening and welcome to the show. We are getting onto the touchscreen a bit later than usual. It's 10 minutes to the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. We are heading there now. Just before we go to the touchscreen, we have to say that we were hoping to bring you a very full edited version of Mustafa Hamid's speech at Alisa earlier today. Very well attended by former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former Vice President and MPP presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin, and conference host Gabi Ochre Darko, because the conference was hosted on the platform of the Dankwa Institute's Liberty Lectures. Dr. Sheikh Mustafa Hamid delivered a very powerful lecture. We will give you a full detail on that on Thursday, because on Wednesday, Mustafa Hamid will be presenting his document to the MPP National Executive Vetting Committee chaired by the Honorable Opare Ansah. And they will be receiving Mustafa Hamid's papers. We will be there to cover it and bring it to you. And then we will show you excerpts of the speech. One video, though, that has caught attention from Mustafa Hamid's lecture tonight. Now, the lecture was about politics and religion. I believe that is beginning the conversation about this whole can Muslim, Christian, all of that. Mustafa Hamid is opening another chapter, another dimension to the conversation. And it was so well attended that I believe that is going to get a lot of media ink, and we're all going to have the occasion to discuss it. But let's see this video where Mustafa Hamid. Now, if you watch this video, you might think that Mustafa Hamid is a Dinah Hamilton or something like that. Wow, he's an Islamic cleric, he's a sheikh. Listen to him.
Nyama peya esisi ni nyina free radio aseda for ya ese one fama erade no nyama peya eshira ni nyina free radio da for ya ese one famano sidan konya mi nyamia oni yen wo ni mioma eya oye eye nwa nyama peya esisi ni nyina free radio aseda for ya ese one fama erade no nyama paya eshira ni nyina free radio da for ya ese one fama.
I always enjoy when I see Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former president, so relaxed and enjoying himself in the Ghana that he led for 8 years and was vilified by many. Usually when you are vilified like that, you have to go and stay abroad. But here is Nana Akufo-Addo, very confident about what he did and enjoying himself in public life. He was there smiling at Mustafa Hamid, singing that very interesting song, One Fama Erade no. I think that's a good one. Why am I wearing a red tie with the protagonist on my screen? Alex Markin has a red tie over here, and Sami Jemfi too has a, is this red? Light red wineish tie. Okay, maybe tonight is the night for red ties. Okay, so after pull and push, cross-border exchanges of words, after threats and after finger-pointing and explanations, Alex Markin told Parliament that he has actually filed a writ at the Accra High Court in defamation, and he's going to demand 15 million Ghana cedis from Sami Jemfi, the Chief Executive Officer of the Gold Board, Joy FM Multimedia Broadcasting Corporation, and Peace FM. Also, he's going to demand money from them as well. Now, we also heard, as the discussions continue, that a very important member of the John Mahama Inner Circle, Edudzi Tamaklo, who is the successful Chief Executive of the National Petroleum Authority, is doing very well. Mr. Tamaklo said on radio today that sleeping dogs should be made to lie and peace pipes should be smoked after Alex Markin had filed a writ. Should that give us any indication of the level of defenses that the NDC and the Gold Board Chief Executive have in terms of fighting this writ in court? Let's go to Parliament and hear Alex Markin, after he filed a writ, announcing to the August House, to the Speaker and the rest of the members of the House, that indeed he had taken out a writ of defamation in the High Court in Accra. Here's Markin announcing to Parliament.
In the face of the allegations of extortion leveled against me, I have chosen to take high moral ground by submitting myself to the processes of the law. I have accordingly caused writs to be filed in suit number GT 1029/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Samuel Edujemfi and Multimedia Group Limited at the Accra High Court, and suit number GR/AC/CC/C5/02/2026, entitled Osahin Alexander Afenyo Markin versus Eric Ejay and Peace FM at the Chimota Circuit Court. I have every confidence that in the fullness of time, the court will make the appropriate determination on these matters. Mr. Speaker, I also await with bated breath that the man or the men who made the allegation will have the courage to report the matter to the police or the OSP or any investigating agency in this country. And I expect that if they muster the courage to report that I have extorted from them and I am invited, I shall submit myself to every investigation so that eventually my name is cleared. There is, Mr. Speaker, there is a limit to political discourse. There are lines that must not be crossed, and these red lines, once crossed, they must be dealt with. Mr. Speaker, I can modestly and humbly say that I have served in this position with integrity. I came into this office a man of hard work with determination, and I have achieved for myself what I have to do for myself, my family, and my constituents. Mr. Speaker, I work with clear conscience and with fidelity to the responsibilities entrusted to me. I say so without more.
So that was Alex Afenyo Markin, who is the minority leader in Parliament. And here are the details of the writ. On our touchscreen now, it says, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin has sued Gold Board and CEO Samuel Edujemfi, also known as Sami Jemfi, and Multimedia Group Limited over alleged defamatory remarks. Now, here's the claim. The claim is that the suit concerns remarks allegedly made on Joy News file on August 22, 2026. Afenyo Markin says Jemfi described him as an extortionist. He says the remarks were false, defamatory, and damaged his reputation. Multimedia Group is sued as the broadcast publisher. The reliefs that Mr. Markin is seeking from the court are as follows: general, aggravated, and exemplary damages, 15 million compensation, and he wants a full retraction of the allegation. He wants a public apology, he wants a retraction and or an apology from same or substantial same prominence and reach, publication broadcast on Joy News and relevant social media platforms, perpetual injunction against further publication of the alleged defamatory words, cost, including legal cost. Any further relief the courts may deem fit, Mr. Markin asked. So there we go. The matter is now in the domain of the courts, and we have to wait and see what the courts will decide. But at least Mr. Markin has heeded the call of many who were asking him to take legal action if he believes that these allegations are untrue. So that's what he's done now. Now let's get to our first story on the touchscreen. Before we do that, though, let me just give you this information. Oh, I wish I had them. All right, I'll do that later. All right, cool. Let's get to the story. Now, there's a Neelante van der Poel story. Maybe we have to bring Neelante's photograph and let's start with that one. Yes, thank you very much. So this is my good brother, senior brother whom I respect very much, Neelante van der Poel. And Neelante van der Poel is fiercely focused. He's a cadre. He knows what he wants, and his politics is quite direct. You can trust him. He's not a dishonest kind of guy. He doesn't speak with two tongues. He's not that kind of person. He's very straightforward and direct, and you can trust Neelante van der Poel. So this is Neelante van der Poel, who wants to be the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, and many political watchers, even people who are not members of the NDC, felt that this is a good choice. Neelante is trained. He's come far. He's solid. He's been a minister before. He's been a member of parliament. He understands the politics. He's fought in opposition. He's fought in government. So he really knows how to handle these things. So yes, they were excited that he's going to be chairman of the party. But the story doesn't end there. We have to begin the story. Now let me get back Johnson Asiedu Nketia and President Mahama. So this Neelante van der Poel situation, okay, it's a clear situation of a proxy war between President John Dramani Mahama and his party chairman. As you may all know, party chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia is lacing his boots, or perhaps right now he's finished lacing his boots. He's in pole position to become the NDC's presidential candidate for the next election. It appears that prospect is not finding favor with John Dramani Mahama. It appears that John Dramani Mahama and his principal advisors are not particularly settled in on Johnson Asiedu Nketia becoming the leader of the party. They have their reasons. I'm not here to justify whether it's a good reason or it's a bad reason, but when a president who's been president twice in different situations and he decides that somebody should not be president, I guess we have to grant him some authority in that regard. We have not been presidents before. Have not been president before. Yes, I support Mahamudu Bawumia. I supported Nana Akufo-Addo. But if you ask me to what are the ingredients that will make somebody a good president, I really can't tell. But John Mahama can tell. I believe Akufo-Addo can tell. I believe J.A. Kufuor can tell. And they have been president before. So John Mahama's situation is that it appears that he doesn't feel very settled about his party chairman becoming the leader of the party. Now, this indication also has sort of annoyed Asiedu Nketia quite a bit, because if you know the history of the NDC, and I know it, Asiedu Nketia has stood for John Mahama in many, many respects. In 2012, I was there when the decisions were being taken about whether the NDC should go to a Congress to elect their presidential candidate or not. Johnson was the general secretary, and he determined that there shall be no Congress. The vice president has been sworn in as president. He will be the candidate of the NDC for the election. Asiedu Nketia was right. John Mahama went to the election and he won 2012 elections. Amidst controversy in the courts, nevertheless, the court pronounced him the eventual satisfied winner of that election. Okay, so then comes 2018, when people are feeling that John Mahama has spent force and he's lost elections by the heaviest margin in the history of the Fourth Republic, blah, blah, blah. And people are thinking that John Mahama should be replaced as a candidate for the NDC. Up comes important NDC figures like Alban Sumano Kingsford Bagbin. He was running against John Mahama for the ticket. Joshua Alabi was running against John Mahama for the ticket. Augustus Guzitano was running against John Mahama for the ticket. I believe Sylvester Manson too was running against John Mahama for the ticket, weren't they? But it was Johnson Asiedu Nketia who once again stood firm as general secretary of the party that come what may, John Mahama is going to be the candidate for the election. Election 2020 came and John Mahama and the NDC significantly improved upon their performance in 2016, and it made a justifiable reason why John Mahama should become the candidate of the election for 2024, given that the MPP were now going to naturally change the candidate. Akufo-Addo's tenure was done, and of course Mahamudu Bawumia was going to come in as a vice president who was about to win the party's nomination, and he did win the party's nomination. A few hiccups here and there. Alan Martin decides to leave the party, and Kennedy Japan is calling for a showdown, etc., etc. But Mahamudu Bawumia is elected nonetheless. All right. The election comes in, and just before the election, though, the NDC go to Congress again. Chairman Ofosu Ampofo has been an NDC chairman for this period. For that period, it was Chairman Wayose. May God keep his soul for us. Very, very good man. I refer to Dr. Kwabena J, a former member of the NPP. And why do I say that? He was an NPP member of parliament in 1979. The party was called the Popular Front Party, PFP. And he was the member of parliament for Biakoye constituency. Kwabena J was elected to parliament on Victor Owusu's party. So Kwabena J is a former NPP member. And he was a chairman of the NDC. Very good man. And he passed, unfortunately. So Chairman Ofosu Ampofo became chairman. But Johnson Asiedu Nketia decided to challenge Ofosu Ampofo for the chairmanship. It sounded a bit uncomfortable here and there, but everyone believes that Asiedu Nketia got the support of John Mahama, who was a towering figure in the NDC at the time, as indeed he is now. And so Asiedu Nketia emerged the chairman of the party. Then came 2024 elections, and the NDC pulled out the biggest victory in the history of the Fourth Republic, surpassing Akufo-Addo's victory in 2016. Okay, now Asiedu Nketia knows that John Mahama is doing one term. So Asiedu Nketia says, I'm ready to go into it. And then he's hearing and feeling and sensing and smelling that the decision is not finding favor with the boss. I mean, if I was advisor Asiedu Nketia, I would have said, let's stop right there. We need to cross this hurdle. Put everything aside. Pack everything. Hold everything on. Let's go and try and secure the boss's permission. Let's try and secure the boss's blessing. Without his blessing, this is going to be very difficult. I would have said that to Asiedu Nketia if I advised him. I advise him, but he often doesn't listen because he sees me as opposition. So please tell him that my advice can be good. He should listen. Anyway, that's a joke. All right. So this is the scenario at this time. This is a scenario, okay? Johnson Nketia and John Dramani Mahama. So then we come up here and remind Asiedu Nketia that you're not going to be able to win anything if, first of all, you don't secure John Mahama's blessing. But forget about that. Some people can win without the president's blessing. Akufo-Addo won 2007 MPP Congress without Akufo's blessing. Justin Kodua became MPP General Secretary without the establishment's blessing. So you can still win without the blessing. But how are you going to do without the blessing? Okay. So we went ahead and had an opinion on Asiedu Nketia's need to be both party chairman and flag bearer. So our editorial essentially was based on the fact that the path to party chairman is very different from the path to presidential candidate. And it's going to be very difficult for Johnson Asiedu Nketia to navigate from being party chairman to swing over to be presidential candidate. I'd like to show you just 5 minutes of what we said then, because everything we said has, like the chickens have come home to roost. This is what we said. It's just a 5 minutes clip. Have a look at it. If you want to ask me, the question is, what is the role of a party chairman when the party is in government? The role of a party chairman when a party is in government is a lobbyist role. You lobby. You lobby for yourself if you want. You lobby for people. You lobby for contractors because you have influence. Infante, I think they call it sympathy. You are an elder. You don't have real power, but you're an elder that people respect. So you walk into Jubilee House at 11 o'clock in the morning, everybody will be saluting you, oh, party chairman, what are you looking for? I want to see the old man. You climb upstairs to the 4th floor, the old man secretary sees you, oh, party chairman is here. You go to president, oh, a party chairman is here to see you. President will say, well, let him come, of course. You go to see president, you are going to lobby. So you go and say, Mr. President, this contractor who really helped us, they are not paying him. Charlie, tell your people to pay him. You know, the guy, that rally we did in Tamale, he's the one who paid for everything. He's the one who brought the lights to the rally in Obuasi. Please, you know, sort him out. And then the president might say, okay, party chairman has spoken. He'll call Minister of Finance. Ato, do you know this contractor X? Why are we not paying him? He says, oh, we'll pay next week. So, look, party chairman has come to speak about it. So then you go to communication minister. I say, communication minister, our party officers don't have computers. Can you get us iMac, the latest iMac 2020? Gets us about 70 or so. The communication minister can call a contractor who is doing business with the Ministry of Communication and beg him that, look, you are doing business with us. You're going to make a lot of money. Can you spend some of your profit to buy computers for my party people? Party chairman is on my neck. That's the role of a party chairman in government. That's how it is. So Asiedu Nketia is inexperienced. He has misunderstood the role of a party chairman in government. And so he thinks that he's still the party chairman in opposition, making decisions, towering above the flag bearer, deciding who comes to parliament and who doesn't leave parliament, making all of those changes. That time is gone. He's completely inexperienced. He doesn't understand it. And that's the problem he's having. And he's going to have a major problem if he doesn't recoil and become a lobbyist as a chairman of the party in government. Because nobody's going to pander to you. You have less influence. You have less money. You have less power. Who's going to talk to you? That's the problem. Asiedu Nketia is inexperienced. Very, very inexperienced in handling party chairman of a party in government. Now, the other thing that is disturbing for Asiedu Nketia is that in this Fourth Republic, there's been only one candidate who has wanted to be presidential candidate, who has been on the opposite side of the Jubilee House or the castle and has won. Often, the castle wins who they want to become presidential candidate. That's been the story globally. Whoever they want to be the next candidate, he wins. If you go to the famous story of England in the 90s, when they pushed Margaret Thatcher out, Margaret Thatcher didn't want Margaret Thatcher didn't want Michael Heseltine. Everybody wanted Heseltine. Margaret Thatcher wanted John Major. John Major became the prime minister. That's how it works. It's only Adodankwa Akufo-Addo who in 2007 was able to fight off a very major uphill task from the castle against Kufuor and Alan Kyerematen, and he won. But even look at the victory he won. It was short of a second round. But Akufo-Addo was that powerful. His mobilization skills were so strong. And Akufo-Addo had been a national organizer of the party. So that was a really different kettle of fish. And he had a lot of support. So he's the only one in the Fourth Republic and perhaps in long history who has been able to achieve that. If the president doesn't want you to succeed him, half the time, 70%, 85% of the time, you will not succeed him. Asiedu Ketia must get that very clear. So if you want to be presidential candidate of a party, the first vote you have to win is the vote of the sitting president. If you can't get the vote of the sitting president, my brother, forget about it. You're not going anywhere. You can be the biggest of anything. You have to be an Akufo-Addo to be able to ignore the vote of the sitting president and still win. And it was that Akufo-Addo episode that now changed constitutions of political parties in Ghana, where more than 2,000 people are voting for the presidential candidate because they're trying to reduce the influence of presidents, but it hasn't been reduced. Akufo-Addo stood for Bawumia and he won it. The other thing we have to talk about is this, before we get to the videos. When you look at their political trajectory, to be party chairman is a different path from being presidential candidate. Asiedu Ketia must get that very clear. So it's like a road, okay? Or a train that is one way and then branches out into two ways. That's how the political journey is. We all start at the same place and then you branch out into executive government or you branch out into party. So you look at the likes of B.J. Darocha from 1992. Darocha doesn't want to be presidential candidate. No way. He could have, if he wanted to contest in 1992 as a flag bearer to challenge Adu Boahen, Darocha would have been formidable. But he doesn't like that because we are all different. He doesn't want to be presidential candidate or president of the country. He wants to run the party, so he wants to be party chairman. Odoyi Sykes, Peter Ala Ajete, all these people, A.A. Munufi, Alhaji Isifu Ali, Kobna J, they don't want to be presidential candidate at all. They just don't want to be. So they go the path of the party. So if you go the path of the party, you cannot then come around and say that now you want to be presidential candidates. You can't do that. So look at MPP today. You see the likes of Samuel Oku and these guys. Samuel Oku started as the party, as Akufo-Addo was national organizer before. Samuel Oku started as the party. Samuel Oku has decided that he wants to cut another path. He wants executive government. So he does an executive position at NLA. He goes to parliament. If MPP comes to power, he wants to be a minister, and then he will cut his path from there. He's not going back to be general secretary of the party. No, that is gone as far as he's concerned. Kojo, Ponkroma, and all these are friends. They don't want to be party executives. If Samuel Oku wants to be party executive, he can run for MPP general secretary and win. But that's not the path. He's gone onto the executive path. You decide where you want to go. It's going to be very, very difficult for Asiedu Ketia to navigate that. It's going to be very difficult for Asiedu Ketia to navigate that. The concern we have here, sorry, the video is a bit long. We'll work on it for the videos that go on online. The concern we have here is that we believe that Asiedu Ketia took our advice, but he didn't pay us for it. This is pure political advice, political research advice, which he didn't pay us for, but he took our advice. All right, okay. Okay, let's move on to the next. The Neil Ante Van Der Poel one is fine, yeah. Okay, so after that, we saw, did we notice the date on that one? I think the date was 26th of March. No, the date. The date was on 26th of May. That's when we published this opinion. It was May 26th this year. That's when we published the opinion. Now let's go. Neil Ante Van Der Poel on 11th June 2026, a few days after we published the 26th of May, 11th June, about a week or so. He comes and says that, I'll resign for NDC chair race if Asiedu Ketia does not run. Now, up until this time, it was almost certain. Everybody knew that Asiedu Ketia was running. Everybody knew that. But we believe that when we put out that editorial and put the road sign thing there, the photograph, and showed him that party chairman is on the left and the general executive government is to the right, you can't really cross because there's a big chasm in between, and navigating that chasm, which has many, many pitfalls. Do you know what steeplechase is, viewers? the military people, they have something called steeplechase. And in steeplechase in the military academy, there are many obstacles, and there's water somewhere, there are some lions waiting for you somewhere. And if you used to play snake and ladders, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So there's a chasm between being a party, executive of a party, and coming into executive government. And we thought that it's going to be very difficult for Asiedu to navigate that. But then comes Neil Ante van der Poel, says that I'll resign I'll resign for the NDC chair race. That is to say, he'll resign his position given to him by John Mahama as a DRIP coordinator if Asiedu Nketia doesn't run. So Neil Ante van der Poel is the first person who throws it out that, hold on a minute, Asiedu Nketia may not be running. He also indicates in this post that he is a loyalist of Asiedu Nketia, and that if Neil Ante van der Poel were to run, he is indicating to us that he will be running as part of Asiedu Nketia's philosophy. That's what this post means. I will resign. He says, if Asiedu is running, I'm not running. But if Asiedu is not running, I am going to run. It means that he's going to run on Asiedu's account. So let's see the next post. What date is that? So this is 23rd of June. Then finally, Neil Ante van der Poel says, I will be the chairman of the NDC by December. Neil Ante van der Poel. Former, they call him National DRIP Coordinator. This is a Metro TV quote card. And I believe that he has said it on Metro TV's Good Morning Ghana. And that's where he said this. So we are just showing you the trajectory and showing you where we are today. So as it looks like, therefore, that Asiedu Nketia wants to run the party through Neil Ante van der Poel so that it will be easier for Asiedu to navigate the processes. Okay, now let's look at this. And very good, thank you very much. So you see that Asiedu Nketia on the top of your screen, the arrow points down to Neil Ante van der Poel, and from Neil Ante van der Poel, the arrow comes to the National Democratic Congress. So this is going to be the picture that Asiedu Nketia is trying to create. All right, John Mahama people are watching, yeah, they are watching. And so they see that Asiedu is trying to be very clever. He is going to step aside, and Neil Ante van der Poel is going to be chairman. Neil Ante is going to do virtually everything that Asiedu Nketia wants in the processes leading up to the selection of the presidential candidate. The John Mahama people find this quite dangerous, and they think that is something that has to be worked on. And so they sit down, they dream, they pray. One day we wake up over gold board issues. This is what Neil Ante van der Poel is reported to have said on CTTV. And this was on the 19th of August, 2026, when comments came from Neil Ante van der Poel that were adverse, or the NDC faithful thought it was adverse to the credibility of Sammy Gyamfi, the chief executive of Gold Board. Here, Neil Ante van der Poel.
Everyone has a style. Everyone has a style. And you are asking me.
You have a style, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Everybody has a style. Are those words you use? No, I wouldn't use those words. I wouldn't use those words.
Fair enough.
But you see, by my communication background, I wouldn't want the person, because you are not speaking to only that person. You are speaking to many other people. So that one, I will sit here and apologize on behalf of Sammy Gyamfi, even if he has not done that. I will do that because it's my boy. Sammy, it takes me as a senior person, just as you do. And I would say he's not a communicator. He's not a communications expert like me. He hasn't done communication. I have done communication, and I know that by register, when you're talking, you are not talking to one person, you are talking to general number of people.
So Mr. van der Poel was apologizing for Sammy Gyamfi. He said that he had used interpret language in communicating with on the Gold Board matter with Alex Afenyo-Markin. Okay, then all hell broke loose. Let's see this. Post after post on NDC social media. Rick Owusu says, Masa, you have lost the chairmanship bid, I promise. You don't know the number of people whom you broke their hearts by your comments. You just don't know. And then this one comes, Moses Dasmani says that you cannot attack Sammy and go free. He is a pillar of the NDC grassroots. Okay, then another one says that it's very difficult for a grown man apologizing to a younger man. Critically analyzes the situation before coming out with your thoughts is the best. That's Professor Bo something. Enoch Crypto says the grassroots, well, he wrote it grass rot, but he meant grassroots has already decided. It's too late, sir. James Frimpong says, Neil Ante, think before you speak. You can't chair the seat as national chairman. We will not vote for you. You are not a patriotic NDC. Pack yourself somewhere. And then another one says, don't waste your money. Get a chilled beer and chop chofi and fa. King Priest Archibald says, Honorable, some of your comments lately raises a lot of questions. So, and then Nanako Josafo Kantanka says, take your apology. We still have it in our archive. The time will come. Now, no, not this one, please. The president hasn't said he wants a kid. He can take this one off. So, this is what happened. Can you have me Nilante van der Poel here? I'm still on Nilante van der Poel. This is what happened, yeah? NDC people came after Nilante van der Poel, and we have actually read just a few for you. There's quite a bit more. So Nilante here then comes under severe pressure. Now there's a meaning to that pressure. It's not simple. If you have the Pablo tape, please hold it, get it ready. There's a meaning to this pressure. The pressure then was that Nilante van der Poel, about whom there would have been a lot of thinking in the President Mahama circles in terms of his ambition to become national chairman and how that ambition can be managed so that the Asedu Nketia philosophy does not reign after December 2026 in the NDC, because Asedu Nketia already has a general secretary, Fifi Kwete. He's primed. He's with Asedu Nketia by force, completely, 100%. Now, if they get a chairman who is not Asedu Nketia, but he's acting Asedu Nketia, they are wondering where that is going. So they were thinking about it. Then Nilante van der Poel brings himself, as they say in Ghana. He has brought himself. And so they go after him. They are not going after him just because of the comments. No. They are going after him to remove him from becoming that choice of the national chairman. So in all the fury that occurred, the National Party doesn't say anything about it, because this is a guy who has said, I'm running for national chairman. He's reported to have said something publicly that is supposedly inimical to the image of the party. The party says nothing. Why? Because the party is controlled by his boss, his godfather, Asedu Nketia. They will say nothing against Nilante van der Poel. Fifi Kwete is a scribe. How many times have we seen Fifi Kwete suspend people for things they've said? How many times? Fifi Kwete suspends people all the time. And he's been credited with bringing a hardline discipline to the party. Yes, that may be correct. But this one, when what looked like majority of the party youth felt that Nilante has not spoken well, the NDC party is silent, completely silent. They can't say anything because Van der Poel is their man for the chairmanship. Now they have to wait. Will Van der Poel win? Will Van der Poel not win? A lot of discussions follow. And then, boom, the blast comes. Nilante van der Poel now goes on his knees and renders an unqualified apology. Now that decision could not have been taken without Asedu Nketiah's input. The decision for Nilante van der Poel to apologize so profusely as he did will not be taken without Asedu Nketiah's input. What it means is that Asedu is trying to clean that up so that we can move on. But that's not going to happen. As we speak today, the NDC folks who support the John Mahama agenda will not elect Nilante van der Poel. Now, they were looking for a reason not to elect him, because Van der Poel is correct, 10 over 10, minus nothing. Van der Poel is correct for the party chairman. There's nothing you can hold against Nilante van der Poel. He's not corrupt. The football people think that he's great. People wanted him to be Greater Accra regional minister, so you really cannot find something against Nilante van der Poel. But they found a window. He went to say that Sammy Gyamfi should apologize. Guy, we have the guy. This is politics, viewers. This is politics. I've been studying it for a while. It's politics. So they now have something. It may not be substantial. It may not even be weighty, but they are able to use it. Asedu Nketia and Nilante van der Poel, recognizing this, do not want that conversation to fester. So they say, look, apologize and let sleeping dogs lie. But will sleeping dogs lie? Let's see the apology that Nilante rendered soon thereafter. Nilante rendered an apology. He says, yes, this is the apology on his letterhead. In fact, when the story of apology first came, many people doubted it. Knowing that Nilante van der Poel and the way he is, they doubted it. And so he says here that, let me state clearly and without ambiguity. I think I have it there. Where is that one? Let me state clearly and without ambiguity that it was never my intention to undermine or condemn our comrade, Sammy Gyamfi, or to lend support to the attacks being directed at him and the Gold Board by the opposition. My record, he says, my convictions and my commitment to the NDC will never permit me to knowingly strengthen the hands of our political opponent against one of our own. Indeed, Van der Poel says, my intentions during the discussion was to defend the work of Gold Board and the efforts that Sami has put in. Unfortunately, blah, 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 blah. So viewers, you see what power can do. This is what power can do. This is Neil Ante Van der Poel, who Sammy Gyamfi had procured to help him become National Communications Officer when Sami first contested the role in 2018. At that time, Sami was a young man. He's still young, but he was just coming out of Kumasi and his law training and all of that. And he had been working for Kojo Bonsu, and he had been effective for the party in Ashanti region. And now it was his first time coming into the national focus and then to be living in Accra and be doing national work for John Dramani Mahama. He was working at the behest of John Dramani Mahama. Sammy Gyamfi was running for National Communications Officer at the behest of John Dramani Mahama. And Sammy Gyamfi needed to procure Neil Ante Van der Poel back in 2018 for Van der Poel to give him that political cover to be able to push through an NDC leadership race. And Van der Poel did an excellent job for him. Fast forward, the tables have turned. Here is now Van der Poel on his knees, begging Sammy Gyamfi, help me to become national chairman. I beg you. I can never offend you. Politics is about power. It's not about age. It's not about anything else. Politics is power. That's it. That's the story you're watching. How is Neil Ante Van der Poel begging Sammy Gyamfi in National Democratic Congress, Rawlins's NDC, Professor Mills's NDC, John Mahama's NDC, Neil Ante Van der Poel, this is a huge NDC name. Neil Ante Van der Poel. Today, he's on his knees begging Sammy Gyamfi, the chief executive of Gold Board. Politics is always about power. Now, Van der Poel has apologized. But is the apology going to work? I am saying to you, viewers, and let me now have President Mahama and Asiedu Nketia again. I'm saying to you, before I go to Guzi, I'm saying to you, viewers, that the apology is not going to work because the group here supporting His Excellency are determined that Asiedu Nketia cannot have his way. No, he cannot. They don't want him to have his way. So you are going to bring Neil Ante Van der Poel, who was a really qualified candidate. Okay, now we have him. He said things about Sammy Gyamfi. No, we're not going to allow it. The National Party is not saying anything about it. An apology has come through. As far as Asiedu Nketia thinks, it should be okay, but it's not going to be okay. Now, the coalition that supports Asiedu Nketia in NDC, every political party has different strands. So the NDC has the Rawlins people. They have the cadres. Then they have the Rawlins people. Not all the Rawlins people are cadres, but most cadres are Rawlins people. Then they also have the Mills people. They are there. And the Mills people credit themselves for giving the NDC a new lease of life in 2006, 2007, 2008. I'm referring to the likes of Koko Anyidoho, Neil Ante Van der Poel, Kojo Bonsu, Kobi Achampong. Where is he? Where is Kobi Achampong? Find him for me. We used to have a lot of political arguments at the Lisa Hotel back in the day when we were watching Champions League in 2007, 2008. Kobe, my good friend, where are you? Where's Kobi Achampong? Please find him. Kobi Achampong. All of these guys are Mills people. Bebakum Mensah, Mate Newman, all of them. They are Mills people. That's another block of the NDC. Then there's also the John Mahama people. Now, the John Mahama people, some of them are former cadres. Some of them are former Mills, but now they are John Mahama people. Okay. So, Asiedu Nketia has a lot of support within the grassroots of the NDC, and he largely controls also the cadre block because he too is an important cadre. So the cadres are with him. This is the strategy that we are noticing. Yeah, stay with me, viewers. We are noticing that the people around John Mahama are desperate to find a party chairman. A chairman that will not do Asiedu Nketia's bidding. A chairman that will do President Mahama's bidding. That's what they're looking for. And they think that the cadres have been left behind. Nothing has happened. So to appease the cadres, they're going to pick a cadre hero and see whether they can convince him to run as chairman. Once they get that and the forms are picked, they're going to swing support for that person. And Asiedu and John Mahama will fight the first proxy battle towards 2008 in that context. Whether they are going to have their way for chairman or they're not going to have their way. So if Asiedu Nketia wins that contest, viewers, you should know that the scales are tilting his way. But can he eventually push it through? I doubt it very much, but let's see what happens. Now, this is the man they are talking about for the national chairmanship leadership. Guess who? Augustus Guzitano. Augustus Guzitano himself has gotten into a bit of trouble recently on 24-hour economy, and we're going to show that to you in our next story. But Augustus Guzitano has always been the CADA favorite for presidential elections, and they believe that once it has been spoken, it should happen sometime. They are beginning to think that if Augustus Guzitano cannot become a presidential candidate, surely he must be a party chairman to reorganize the party, bring the party back to even keel, raise up the ethos of the cadres, probity, accountability, and what else? Transparency, those cadre things. You know, they want that. So, and Guzi is going to be palatable to the John Mahama group, yeah? So if Guzi is good with the cadres, then they can win the cadre votes away from Asiedu Nketia. That's one block gone out of the Asiedu Nketia base. And this is now the John Mahama candidate, so everybody is going to whip to support the John Mahama candidate. This is what they are playing out now. So they are thinking that Augustus Guzitano file for national chairman. But can Guzitano file for national chairman? I guess he's run out of time on Asiedu Nketia's terms. Because Asiedu Nketia and Fifi Kwete had introduced something that if you want to run for national office, resign from your job. So Nilante van der Poel has resigned as DRIP coordinator to run for national chairman. The deadline, guess what, viewers? The deadline for that has already passed. We don't know anyone who has resigned from an important position to run for national chairman. No minister has resigned, no deputy minister. We can't find anyone. Guzitano today is still the boss of the 24-hour economy. So technically, Guzitano has run out of time. But John Mahama is still the boss. So they can always do something on the national executive to open a reprieve, give some 2 weeks, new people, blah, blah, blah. Or they can file a petition to John Mahama to reconsider that position. A lot of things are going to happen from September. I know, but I can't speak of them now because the people told me said I shouldn't say it right now. But a lot of things are going to happen. So that is what it is. Today, Guzitano is disqualified because he hasn't resigned. The deadline has passed. Is he going to be John Mahama's candidate for the situation? Well, I don't know. We wait to see what will happen. Do you have something else? Yes, that is the last bit of the conversation on this story. I'd like to tell you something, viewers, that if you look at all what is happening within the NDC and within the government and even comparing to what's happening within the MPP, I'm going to share with you at this stage the choices for the John Mahama people. So for the John Mahama people, their first choice for 2028 presidential election is that His Excellency the President would be able to achieve a third term and he will be on the ballot. That is option 1 for the JM camp. Third term on the ballot. Nothing to do with JM himself. I'm telling you what his people are thinking. They are thinking that their first option is a third term. If they can't get that, and they know that they may not get that, they are politicians, so they concede, or they know, but they are pushing for it. Their second option is to have Kesela Toforsen, the Minister for Finance, become the candidate of the NDC. They already know that Mahamadou Bawumia is the candidate for the MPP, and they are thinking that by 2028, Atoforsen will have enough to show for how he has managed the economy. And if you compare that to Bawumia, they believe that they can have a favorable comparison against Bawumia. And that's why this gold board loss of 1.7 billion is very, very crucial to them. And that's why they will fight it off with everything, especially the John Mahama people. Somehow, Atoforsen's name is not coming into the gold board conversation. We hear all kinds of things that some people have removed his name. Some important people in MPP have removed Atoforsen's name. Whatever. It's all going on. Maybe it will come home to roost and we'll see it one day. But Atoforsen, I'm still on Atoforsen, please. Atoforsen is the second choice for the John Mahama people. There's a third choice, isn't there? The third choice for the John Mahama people, the third option, is Ambassador Dr. Julius Deborah. If for some reason Atoforsen doesn't work, maybe the economy takes a downturn, touch wood, that will not happen. But if that were to happen, it's economics and politics, you never know. If something happens that indicates that the Atoforsen thing might not work, the John Mahama people will now have to rely on Ambassador Dr. Julius Deborah, the Chief of Staff, to become the candidate of the John Mahama camp. If for some reason that also doesn't work, Then Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, who is the vice president, may be an option that the John Mahama people can consider. But these are the 4 options of the Bahama people. Option number 1, third term. I believe option number 2 is also third term. Option number 3 is K. Salato Forsen becomes the candidate. Option number 4, Julius Debra to be considered. Option number 5, Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, the vice president, to be considered. So this is what is going on. This is what is playing out. And the people in the NDC are looking carefully at what's happening in the MPP. MPP are observing carefully what's happening in the NDC. We are showing you what's going to happen in between. So bring back Nilante van der Poel as he is the conclusion of our story. So, Angoni Ofanete, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, this is very interesting, very slippery. But you have been doing politics all these years. You know it better than I do. We wish you the best of luck, but we can tell you that you have an almost unsurmountable mountain to climb with all of these complications. One thing you can do, though, is to go to President Mahama and see whether you can get his support for the party chairman, if you haven't done that already. And then I'm sure that after that, you'll be fine. Nilante van der Poel, our friend, is like Nineveh and Jonah. He is in a catch-22 situation. He is between a rock and a very, very hard place. But we have some compensation for him. This was Nilante van der Poel showing the spirit of the NDC within him on the last day of campaigning in the 2016 elections at the Accra Sports Stadium. I was there. I was behind the stage that day. I can never forget it. Nilante van der Poel.
I'm overdosed with music, super scary. Hi, Shatawale, I come like a. Hi, Shatawale, come like. Hi, me come to them like some. Hi, Shatawale, come like. Forever and ever. Forever and ever. Forever and ever. Forever and ever. I'll be your father. Aye, call me your IGP. Salute to me anytime. Call me Duncan Williams or Mensa Waterbill. I don't go fit dog you, cause I know say I love you. So we don't waste no time. Money we account every time. In the boy, oh, Togo just come and shining quabo. So me I humble myself. Anyone me step man down to the earth. So me see me big to the girl. So me scared I'm like Hi. Shatawale I come like Hi. Shatawale come like.
Forever and ever, Nilante van der Poel will be a soldier of the NDC. You're still on Good Evening Ghana, and we have more stories coming. We're going to show you who is leading in the MPP chairmanship. We have Adenta Kumi here in the studio. But let me tell you something, viewers. And this is a public announcement from the National Identification Authority. It says that under the new requirement, biometric verification is now the principal means of confirming the identity of a Ghana card holder. So what does this mean? Do not rely on the photograph or physical appearance of the person presenting a Ghana card. Where biometric verification is required, you must use the NIA-approved biometric verification system. You should also not photocopy, scan, retain copies or images of the Ghana card or rely on ocular or visual inspection alone for identification verification, except where permitted by law. Please take note, carrying out verification through unauthorized copies or ocular inspection is an offense under LI 2523 and is punishable by penalty units of 2,000 penalty units. If your institution or business or agency verifies, identifies, then take the next step and onboard onto the NLA's Identity Verification Systems platform. Get your systems ready, train your staff, and begin putting the new requirement into practice. The transaction period for institutions to onboard runs from 27 July to 2nd November 2026. But institutions are encouraged to start their compliance preparations now. For more information, you can call 0302 999 306, 307 309. NIA providing future solutions. I get very excited when I read these LPMs because I hope the NDC remembers that they said that the Ghana card was useless and Baumia was a liar and it doesn't work and this and that. And today the NDC and they sent us a live presenter mention about the NIA. We thought they were going to close down the NIA offices and throw them away. When they tell them to register for mobile phone, they say they are called Stubborn Academy. They come to power, they announce a registration of SIM card. I can't believe this. I mean, viewers, forget about politics. Can you really believe that? I'm a politician. I'm in opposition. The government says we are doing a card, or what do you call it, a SIM registration card. Then I say I won't register. I am called Stubborn Academy. Then I make a lot of noise. I won't register. And they are enjoying it. These are responsible young men who are politicians, who are leaders of the country, enjoying rebellion against the system. They are enjoying it when they shouldn't be perpetrating rebellion. Okay, fair enough. They come to power. First announcement of Sam George, I'm going to do SIM registration. Are you really serious? What kind of dishonesty is that? It's so dishonest. Is that what we are teaching our children? It's so badly dishonest. So bad. NIA, this NIA bill I'm reading here. NIA, great idea. It started way before Akufo-Addo. Baumia puts his foot down and says that in this Akufo-Addo government, we have to complete the Ghana card. Baumia goes heavens and earth. He is challenged by some people in his own party. Some of the cabinet members think it's not time. Baumia pushes and pushes and pushes, and we have the Ghana card. What does NDC do? Ghana card is useless. Then they come to power. They say, okay, let's go and register, do your Ghana card, and institutions should onboard, whatever. Anyway, please, institutions, follow the NIA directive. They have given you between 23rd July to 7th November. Please do it. Ghana card is important. It helps us to become a modern country. And congratulations to the NIA for taking a step further to make the Ghana card even more useful. This is Good Evening Ghana and it's live. Let's go over to our social media editors and let's see what people have been saying about our show so far. When we come back, we have 24-hour economy and we have the NPP contest. Who is winning the chairmanship? In the studio is one of the contestants for the National Youth Organizer, Alfred Kumi. He'll be here, popularly known as Adenta Kumi. Now, he had a very feisty arrival at the party office today. We'll show you the videos there on, and you can see it. So let me go over to our text message, and I begin with Ella. Okay, Ella, what are people saying?
Okay. Thank you, Paul. This one is from Henry Kote. He says, Sami Gyamfi will be hot rough. The NDC is at its climax. Soon will become their dentlements. Ghanaians are very tired of them now. Osahini in his regular now, and the eardrums have been beaten. Anyway, tomorrow will be a great day for MPP as Honorable Boakye moves 8 a.m. from Kukumlele to pick up his forms for the national chairmanship of position. Let's support him in our numbers. Nana Jerebi says, your understanding of Ghana's political landscape is definitely top-notch. From Junior Akbar, I always maintain the NDC believe that propaganda is the only option to govern this country. When they are in opposition, they speak anyhow. But when they are in power, they do something wrong and you speak, they will treat you as a slave. Let's give them some time. Inshallah, 2028 is just around the corner. Kweku Mensah says, did I hear Sami Gyamfi talk about his reputation being tarnished by what he claims are untruths? Unbelievable. This is a guy who didn't care a hoot about tarnishing hard-earned reputations that had been built from a period that predates his first day on earth. Now that he has become a CEO of a strategic state institution, he is asking for his reputation not to be dragged through the mud. I am sure he now understands how hard it is not to only build a reputation, but to maintain and protect it. If there's any practical manifestation of the Akan proverb, Obenya Beto, and then this is it. You need to be in it to understand it as well. Nexon Ishen says, Apostle Paul, please, whoever is trying to get Osahini Afenyo marking and Sami Gyamfi to smoke the peace pipe is an obstacle to democracy. There's a limit we can go and a line we cannot cross in our political activism. Titus Glover should be our next national organizer for victory in 2028. It is possible. Lastly, from Yasim Ibrahim, he says, hello, Paul. Good evening to you and your elegant team tonight. In fact, if Honorable Markings tries to smoke the peace pipe with Sami Gyamfi, we will not forgive him. My special regards to Honorable Titus, our incoming national organizer, hopeful, Tema side too. Over to you, Kia.
Thank you very much, Ella. This is coming from Nana Owusu. He says, after watching the interview with the IMF country representative about the gold for reserves operation being moved from the Bank of Ghana to Gold Board, we need to probe into the 1.7 billion in losses, bearing in mind the buying and selling of our gold, for assaying and aggregation to who has been offering discounts to the off-takers. As for the setting of spot prices, I think the CEO mentioned on Newsfile that the economic management team is involved. We need to redesign the whole process to minimize such gargantuan losses in the future. In the meantime, Parliament must invite the finance minister, who supervises the Gold Board, the CEO, and the relevant staff of the Gold Board, as well as the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Lastly, we should rope in some of the contracted assayers, aggregators, and other players in the value chain. This should not be too partisan. Ghana first. Coming from Samuel Kelly, he says, I've never enjoyed Mr. Amar Rusanda's interviews because he doesn't listen to his guests, especially when they hold views that are contrary to his political issues. He mentioned that he's a lawyer, but he needs to know that Apostle Paul is streets ahead of him in journalism and legal language and legal knowledge, although he doesn't sell at Makola. Some of us may not have legal qualifications, but we are smarter in our analysis than most lawyers. Sanda, please take some pride out of your head and we will do you wonders. Bash says, Paul, I watched your interview with Umar Rusanda of Channel 1 TV. What I can say is short. Paul, you are simply brilliant and intelligent. You are the best journalist I have ever come across in this country. Yalfebri says, Gold Board is implicated in the 1.7 billion losses under the DGPP, as the IMF cited Gold Board services charges and assay fees. Gold Board also has the monopoly to price, buy, and sell gold. So if Gold Board and the gold for the DGPP using the Forex Bureau exchange rate instead of the Bank of Ghana exchange rate or commercial banks rate, thereby contributing to the ballooning of the losses, how can Gold Board exonerate itself from responsibility for the 1.7 billion loss? How then can its CEO personally attack and blackmail Honorable Amfenyo Makin by calling him an extortionist, only to later accept that there is indeed a 1.7 billion loss? Coming from Yalfebri on the Vanderpoel discussion, he says, it's a well-known notion that candidates supported by the sitting president during internal party elections frequently win. However, because President Mahama is serving in his second term and many NDC members feel neglected by the government, NDC delegates are likely to vote Chairman Johnson Nketia as the national chairman ahead of the 2028 elections because they believe he understands their plight, and he was there for them when the Mahama government neglected them. Therefore, even if President Mahama supports Honorable Neil Lanti Vanderpoel to contest the national chairmanship position of the NDC, Chairman Johnson Nketia is likely to retain the position of the national chairmanship. And he goes on to say that it will be difficult for Mr. Guzi Tando to win the national chairmanship for the flag bearership of the NDC after failing members of the NDC and Ghanaians on the 1:3 job promise. He also said that the 24-hour economy markets under the construction are not under his auspices, even though every Ghanaian knows that he is in charge of the 24-hour economy. Furthermore, his departure from the NDC in 2002 is likely to cost him. Over to you, Anziba.
Thank you very much, Ikia. We're taking the first one from Jeffrey Butchie. He says, Apostle Paul, please play the video of Kwame Sefakai of Peace FM warning Sami Jemfi about the fabrications of stories and lying on him. Ali Sisi says, that was an excellent submission by Honorable Mustafa Hamid. He also continues to say, Honorable Osahin, we are proud of you. Keep on the good work. Someone called Paulus in Kaswa says, the NDC government cannot run the government by telling Ghanaians that every form of criticism is an attack and every critic is an enemy. You want power to govern and not to silence scrutiny. If the numbers are correct, publish them. If the transactions are clean, explain them. If the program is successful, show Ghanaians the results. You can't intimidate us. Coming from Chris Edu, he says, Paul, it is good that the minority have taken a step to sue Sammy Gyamfi on this matter to clear his name and maintain his unblemished reputation. However, today, Sammy thinks the power that he has can protect him. But he should know that power is transient, and very soon the day of reckoning will surely come. And lastly, coming from Ezi, he says, the lawyers of Osahene Afenyo-Markin should go all out on the case, whilst Osahene himself focuses on summoning BOG and Goldboard to Parliament to answer questions in relation to the $1.7 billion loss. Okay, that'll be it. Over to you, Paul.
I have some text messages to read as well. Some of them are quite flattering. I won't read that one. People don't like it when I read it. But somebody has sent me a photograph of Kobi Achampong. And he says, hello, Paul. Kobi Achampong is domiciled in Takoradi. Then I asked him, what does he do these days? He said, oh, he's just cool. He's resting. He's over there. He sends me a photograph of Kobi Achampong. I'm really enjoying watching this in a Methodist church also. Kobi, tell me where you are in Takoradi. Let me come and visit, and then we connect. Or maybe I'll talk to Elvis Efriankra. I'm sure he knows where Kobi Achampong is. So I'm very happy to hear that Kobi Achampong is hale and hearty. He's in good health. He's still in Ghana, and he is in Takoradi. All right. Prince sends me a text from London. He says that the issue of reprieve for Guzi will never happen, as Asiedu did the calculation before imposing that rule. If President Mahama intervened to alter that timeline rule, that will be the beginning of a heavy infighting ahead of the main presidential election. The option thereof for the Mahamas is to possibly get people to abstain from the popular acclamation of the, I don't know what that means in the NDC constitution. Perhaps it says that if you stand alone and you don't get 50%, the election will be run against something. I don't know. But that's what he's suggesting, that one of the options, if you don't want Nilante Van der Poel, is to have people to abstain from the vote. Alternatively, he says, they, the Mahama people, can get someone outside who is not bound by the existing rule, or better still, gets NI to sign an agreement to toe a certain line when he gets to be elected. It's a tight schematic structure being run by Asiedu and his cohorts. Trust me on this as a former member of the party. Oh, he calls himself former member of NDC. What does that mean? All right. There's another text here that says that somebody says, I believe Nilante Van der Poel will still win the contest. Let's see what happens. This one says that... hello, Paul, he says, why do you omit Sammy Crab's name from the chairmanship contest? Oh, I apologize. Sammy Crab is also in the race for the chairmanship contest for the NDC. Okay, that's it for the text messages for now. We continue with the show.
Sammy Dollar, Sammy Miami, Sammy with the sharp teeth. Pepper Mouth, Sammy Gyamfi, Sammy Snowflake, you can dish it out, but can you take your own medicine? Hey, Sammy, Ghanaians, they ask, oh, $1.7 billion. Sammy Atongoda Boka, Sammy Atongoda Boka, Yerebisa Osi Kano Wahen, $1.7 billion. Wahen Sammy Sikano Wahen, $1.7 billion. Wahen Ghanaians are asking again. Sammy Atongoda Boka, Goldboard, explain it to Ghana. $1.7 billion. Yerebisa Sikano Wahen. Sammy Miami, pepper mouth, you talk plenty. Sammy with the sharp teeth. Today the people want receipts. Sammy are on in mathematics. Gen IMF, come and calculate for Ghana. Make the figures make sense. You talk the talk, now answer the call. If the numbers don't add up, explain it to us all. 1.7 billion. 1.7 billion. Dollar no ya baby, Ghana for the visa. Oh, Sammy. for the teachers, money for our roads, money for the people. Accra to Kumasi Highway, money could help finish the way. Mahamas Azar, 24-hour economy, money could support the economy. So Sammy, answer the question. $1.7 billion, wahen. $1.7 billion, wahen. $1.7 billion, wahen. Can afford a visa. Sammy or truth war, Sammy propaganda. But instead of all the noise, come and clear the matter out. Sammy Dollar, Sammy Miami, Sammy with the sharp teeth, pepper mouth, Sammy Jamfi, Sammy Snowflake, you can dish it out, but can you take your own medicine? Hey Sammy, Ghanaians they ask oh, $1.7 billion. Sammy atongoda boka, Sammy atongoda boka. Yerebisa o sikano wahen, $1.7 billion. Wahen Sammy sikano wahen, $1.7 billion. Wahen Ghanaians are asking again. Sammy atongoda boka, gold bar. Explain it to Ghana. $1.7 billion. Yerebisa sikano wahen.
Welcome back to the show, and this is our final interview for today. Alfred Kumi, a young man who's just in his late 20s or early 30s, is running for the National Youth Organizer of the MPP. There he is in your shots, and you will see around him his blue water guard people. They are Blue Marines. There they are. They were with him to file. We have a short clip of a video that was taken this afternoon when around the filing process that he did today, and a very fiery speech that he gave. Let's watch it, and then we come and ask him questions in the studio. This is Good Evening Ghana is live. This is Adenta Kumi earlier today.
Our economy, money could support the
like Adenta Kumi. Yes. Add your alias.
I made a statement some time ago and the NDC came after me. But I've told them, even if we have to go to hell to campaign and win, that is what we'll do. This new MPP is a new party altogether. Yes. The MPP of 2024 is not the MPP of 2028. And we are sending a warning to the NDC. We will meet them shoulder to shoulder. Yes. What happened the last time that they misbehaved and took ballot boxes, they were beating some of our candidates. Under my watch, it will not happen. Yes. Chairman, I'm saying this without fear. If anybody attempts to mess around with any MPP person or the ballot box on that day, I'm telling you, don't meet God. Yes. As to how to meet God, we don't know. Chairman, I'm not afraid of anybody, and they know. I serve in Menchia, and they've taught us we are not afraid of anybody. By the grace of God, I hold a 2 force gun. We are not afraid of anybody. Yeah. We are only here to serve Ghana. We are only here to serve Ghana. So if they don't want peace, we will show them what power is. But Chairman, I have personally promised my heart that whatever we will do to make Dr. Bawumia become president, Chairman, whatever we will do to win seats, to become majority in parliament, we will do it. Chairman, many of our MPs suffered and they were little things. I'm not going to be a national youth organizer who sits in Accra and work. I'm going to be a national youth organizer that will stay in every constituency at least 2 nights, because we need to be able to feel the problems of the people down there. We need to have a relationship with the people down there. Chairman, the time has come that we have to change things. Say they are 70 cry, bongo form, because atiche na drosso. Adam Mekatrobi say, "Ya bechi me na you there." And all your social media activists, who can be who posted that won't see a betchu. Won't see a betchu. Or would you free and be before so echo Ghana for so? Because they want to keep us quiet. But I'm not more fool way yet. I'm not more fool way. I'm not more kind way. Ye dean. Ye will cry, yes, some beba bekasa. I don't want him. See, will cry, yes, some beba bekasa. Na so mo ye bibi na bibi so tu ya nyame akasa na nyom bedi, because eye kebi ma min kebi enye kebi na min chiw eye kebi ma min kebi e de na sami janfi anka e de orane na no a oba e gold board sikai I say wo gold board. Ghanaian youth are suffering, nurses are suffering, teachers are suffering. All the promises the NDC gave, they failed today. Cocoa farmers, they failed. And then Cocoa can take it to Omuwe. Almost so much here. Now, a Greek minister say, I don't take commission for 20 years for causing financial loss to the states. But Mate said, Obi, I have friend Sami Janfi say, Onu Jones Roche, Monkaja say, or down on the year. After no was 2029, I dear friend as you doing the bigger. Because your evidence, no, it cry IMF. Your evidence, it cry IMF. And then I go to Sikadia Basabasa Wakumwe. Ghana for Mumbre. Ghana for Mumbre. And I see inflation about from to never be a boy a day. And I be a boy a day, better boy a day. Oko kan ya si dollar about form. Dollar na about form why bottom. About form I was a major fee bottom. Dollar no about form was a major fee bottom. And you know Timmy teacher the sano. Miniamo Ghana for Miniamo Mablu. We must stand up.
Okay, so I have in the studio here Alfred Kumi. Alfred, good evening and welcome to the studio. You are full of fire this morning. So what's the thrust of your ambition?
Paul, thank you very much. Good evening to everyone. Paul, you know, a lot of people say you're full of fire, you're a firebrand. But Paul, when people hear Adenta Kumi, they have mixed feelings. It's important for people to understand that, and I keep telling myself, to be a firebrand without strategy and understanding is meaningless. So we did not just come this far by just being a firebrand. You must understand the dynamics. I keep telling people that I teach on politics. I tell them politics is a science and there's an art part of it. You have to know when to apply the science and when to apply the art. Every situation has what it calls for. Every season has what it calls for. You don't come and sit on Good Evening Ghana and shout like you're on a political campaign. You have to understand the atmosphere. So, Paul, that is what I've advised myself over the period of time. Know where and when to do what. You have to know when and who your audience are, who you are speaking to at a particular time, what the people expect of you. And in so doing, me running for National Youth Organizer is based on 3 major things. I say we need to build a new structure. We need to offer opportunities. And those are the things that will bring us to the last part, which is called the victory. You can never have victory if you do not have a structure. We must move from slogans to systems. So, what kind of organization are we having as a youth wing? The New Patriotic Party. Let's ask ourselves, where do we want to see ourselves tomorrow? For me, the vision is to make MPP the most attractive political party in Africa. And you can do so by building the right system that engages with the youth. What does that actually even mean? Someone will say, Kumi, you are speaking a lot of English. Oh, why do we have to wait every day, 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months to election before we wake the whole party youth wing up? Those days must be over. We must build a youth wing that any day, any time, we can say that we are ready for battle. But before you can do that, you must first build a system that, when I did some consultancy for some bank, I think about 5 years ago, when they were so serious about what we call KYC. Know your client. We will call it KYM. You have to know your client. If I enter Ejoso, which is my mother's hometown, it means as an Ashanti, that's where I come from, Echekum. Oh, I need to know what the youth of Ejoso are talking about. I need to understand what their grievances are. When I pick a youth in Ejoso, I need to know that this is the work he does. Is he employed? What's he engaging in? You see, we cannot do the same old things. We mobilize. What do we mobilize to do? We must mobilize to engage on a different level. And in engaging, you must give opportunities. We cannot say that we are in opposition, so we'll do nothing. Today, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is doing more than when he was in power.
He's doing more?
Yes. You see, that's why I keep telling people that Dr. Bawumia is a leader. He does not engage in politics. The things Dr. Bawumia is doing to help people privately, quietly. Sometimes he does it after a year. That's when we hear about it. When you get closer, you realize that he's doing more. But when it comes to politics, we must do it for people to see what we are doing to help others. When you're engaging people to give them opportunities, in opportunities, I'm talking about TESCON, internship. MPP is a big political party. We have businessmen and women in it. Can't we activate our own businessmen who have built companies and tell them that we want to let our TESCON people come and learn? Because if you don't develop these are the things we have to do. For it's not just about thoughts.
How many people are casting their votes in this election on October?
We are looking about 2,500 to 3,200.
And what's the electoral college? Who are they?
It's constituency executives below 40 years, regional executives below 40 years, and national executives below 40 years.
MPs.
And members of parliament. Constituency executive.
Everybody must be below 40.
Yes, you must be below 40 and below.
You don't have any votes from there. You don't have anybody qualifying to vote from
there. The rounds are made, the research we've done, we've come to understand that in every constituency, at least you have about 4 people that are youth. And we are praying. Yes, we are praying that we can increase that number.
The youth numbers.
Yes, we have to.
Level.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Police station executives are not voting.
No, police station executives are not voting. That's what I'm saying that, for this party to grow, we must develop the capacity of the youth. People say that the youth is the future. No, the youth is the present before the future. We are the ones making today. There's research that tells us that 40% of the people that make the electoral decision in Ghana, 80% of the people that make the electoral decision in Ghana are what?
Youth.
Are youth. So why should we wait? I was telling someone that one of the things I'm thinking about is that by the grace of God, when Dr. Bawumia becomes president in 2029, it's a 50-50 affair. We, the youth, are going to work to give him the power. Because that 50-50 is going to groom the youth in the party. We must be thinking about the next generation so that the people outside will know that this is a political party, whether in power or not. they think about the youth. And I believe Dr. Bawumia loves the youth. He works with a lot of youth. You see a lot of youth surrounding him. He is ready to give us an opportunity because he believes that we must be groomed for what is ahead.
These people you have with you, Blue Marines, is it a vigilante group?
No. Oh, we don't believe.
Can you show the Blue Marines?
We don't believe in.
So what song do they sing?
So it's been a group that we developed over, let me say, a month ago. We are trying to help. It's a volunteer group in the party where we want to protect the New Patriotic Party members so that in the case that we go to an election, we can prevent some violence. In the last election, we saw it. People took ballot box. We saw MPs being slapped, and we saw the way some of the MPs suffered. Today, we know members of parliament for the NDC that they don't deserve to be there. Because if we truly go back and recount, we will know that these people, they don't qualify to become members of parliament. So, as a party, you are going for an election, you have to also protect your people. I was talking to someone and I was telling the person that we are saying that we know the reason why MPP lost the election. I said, no, MPP did not lose election and NDC did not win. We did not come out to vote. Mm-hmm. And some of the reasons why we did not come out to vote, security reasons are all part of it. When we go, the grievances are there. But if you go down and do the research, people talk about some tension. And so you want to give your voters that freedom to know that, even when we are in power, they will be protected. So then look at what is happening in this country. I remember taking a picture with you at our last demonstration. Stop criminalizing free speech. You talk, they pick you up. You talk, they pick you up. We know it's a grand agenda of the NDC. We understand. And I've told people, if we have to be fire, we'll be fire. Where we have to be cold, we'll be cold. Where we have to explain for people to understand, we'll do it. I'm an all-rounded politician.
Somebody says I should ask you that. Okay. Ask Adenta Kumi that if he does not win, what will he?
I have to support the MPP.
What will happen?
This party is bigger than me. Whatever we have to do for Dr. Bawumia to be president and for MPP to get majority in parliament, that's what we'll do. If I don't win, it's not the end of the world. I'll thank God. He's taking the burden. When he called me in my room that you have to run for National Youth Organizer to save Ghana, to save this New Patriotic Party, I think the burden is off me. The assignment God gave me is what I'm on. It's not about anybody's assignment. Yes, we have godfathers in the party. But if I don't win, I know that a certain burden has been taken off me. But the next burden is to make sure that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will become president, will be sworn in on 7th January 2029. So it's not about me. I'm not building a team for Adenta Kumi. I'm not building a name for myself. It is by your works. They shall know you. So I'm building a national youth. I'm building something that we, as a party, in 20 years will be proud of. If I become national youth organizer, and may God forbid that I die, I want to look back and say that, I did this thing so that the New Patriotic Party will win power, will be attractive. In fact, will be more attractive. So it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me.
Okay, let's hear them. Let's hear the voice. Let's hear them make some sound. Blue Marines.
We are protecting MPP.
Hey, say that again. Blue Marines.
We are protecting MPP.
Blue Marines.
We are protecting MPP.
Blue Marines are protecting MPP. Blue Marines. They are protecting them. So it's a volunteer group I can join?
Yes, I'll be very happy to.
Anyone can join?
Yes, anyone can join.
Okay, all right. Do we have another break? If we do, yeah, okay. Let's take the final break on the show. We come back and we wrap up. This Good Evening Ghana is live. Yeah, solid.
Can he tee up someone in red?
That's who goal for. I be the real goat. Sam, what's the real goat? Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
We are talking about BET.
Let's be the goat, huh?
My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Proudly produced by Casa Preco PLC. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 years. Not recommended for pregnant women and lactating mothers. Don't drink and drive. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you ready to go on an adventure across Africa with your favorite twins? Yes, that's right. Nuzo and Namia are back. Join them on curious adventures full of wonder and discovery, unexpected friendships, big feelings, and stories that unlock the power of imagination. And for parents, every episode helps your children build literacy, comprehension, emotional learning, and confidence through storytelling they love. So come dream bigger, laugh louder, and explore a world of wonder with Nuzo and Namia. Find your nearest station and showtimes now at nuzoandnamia.com. Bye for now.
Nuzo and Namia, storytellers traveling with you.
All right, just before we end, the campaign manager, Desmond, is here. Desmond, what can you tell us about the campaign so far? Why are you confident that your team is going to win?
Thank you, Mr. Paul. I'm the person of Betinga Desmond from Chana Paga, Constituency Deputy Secretary. Let me use this opportunity to greet my constituency chairman, Mr. Brema Harsu, for putting us together for election 2028. Mr. Paul, as you rightly said it, Adenta Kumi is the strategic lead way to victory in 2028 because we have put in the structures, and number one is getting the security here to make sure that we guard all the elections, guard all our people to make sure that victory is ours come 2028. In addition to, we are saying that we shall implement things that will attract the youth. Recently, 80% of the youth are on social media. So in every region, we are going to train social media personnel that will make sure that all the ills of the NDC are played there for people to look at it and to vote for MPP. And so putting Adenta Kumi as our next National Youth Organizer, we shall win power. Mr. Paul, you know, Greater Kumasi alone can give us 3.5 million votes.
We're wrapping up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so taking somebody from Kumasi, it means that the voter apathy that we suffered 2024 is going to be a thing of the past. And so we are sure of winning this election for Adenta Kumi. Thank you.
That's on 3rd October. Okay.
Yes,
Alfred, you have the final word. What will you say?
Well, I believe that there's our time as young people. We shouldn't let anyone tell us. We should just take our time, understand the situation, and believe in ourselves. I believe that the New Patriotic Party is going to win in 2028, and I know we are going to do it together. For me, I'm not coming to you for votes. I'm coming to you for a partnership so that we can work together and build a New Patriotic Party youth wing. Thank you.
That's it for Good Evening Ghana. I'm sure from next week onwards, we'll be hosting more of the presidential candidates and the aspiring national officers, I should say, the party chairman, contestant, secretary, organizer. Adenta Kumi is for the youth. We'll be back on another edition of the show on Thursday. Thanks for watching and good night.
Welcome to GH Schools, your #1 training institute that offers practical-based tuition in media and a variety of skill acquisition-related areas. At GH Media School, we offer journalism and media studies, journalism and media arts, TV and film production, and multimedia production. Also, you are assured of the best beauty training with GH Cosmetology School. We offer training in massage and body therapy, makeup artistry, hair technology. Realize your dream of becoming an astute fashion designer with GH